Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you so much for being here. I am coming at you today with a very quick update on my yearly stats. I think everyone in the mother has already had theirs out, but you know, catching COVID means that I am behind on this. So I would just like to review my year, because it looks a lot different to the previous year. So I fell out of love with reading and social media and things in general for a while due to like mental health issues. And back in December of 2020 I started my channel again. Started off with the reindeer readathon, and then it's just gone from there. I can tell you in 2020 I think I read 10 books, if that, and I think that majority of that was literally December for reindeer readathon. Looking at these stats, for me it might not be a lot to some people, but to me this is a lot, and I'm really happy with overall stats in terms of what I've enjoyed reading. My goal for 2021 was 100 books. I read 171, which equates to 63,526 pages, last time I checked. The genres that I read from, where the compile set up, or was set up for 2021, is that graphic novel and manga was a genre, not a format. So I'm well aware that graphic novel and manga are not genres, but they're down on genres in here. So the biggest percentage was 62.4% was fantasy, then there was 11% contemporary, and then a mixture of manga and graphic novels was 11.6%. So that's a lot. And I read a lot of my books in mixed media format. So out of the 171 books I read, 90 were mixed media, 66 were purely physical, and 12 were audio. The rest, 12 were ebook. And I think I read a couple of books with pure audio. I think I've lost that stat. I've just tried to find it, but I think I've lost it. And then I DNF'd 7 books, which were Given to the Sea, House of Leaves, Night Circus, Battle Royale, Moon's Punisher, Stars and the Blackness Between Them, and Pride and Premeditation. Not the best. I think a lot of those were DNF'd around the same kind of time as well, which at one point I was really stressing because I was not enjoying reading. I'd have a really good book, and then I'd have to like DNF a book, and then I'd have another really good book, and then I'd DNF a book. So yeah, it was a lot. Star rating wise, let me just pull it up. I had 91 5-star ratings, which is 53.5%. I had 31.8% 4 stars, which turned out there was 54, and then 3 stars or 13.5%, and then the rest were sort of either DNFs. I think the rest were DNFs, because I don't rate anything lower than a 3-star, I don't think. I don't like giving 1 or 2 star ratings, and the likelihood is, I don't really think there's any reason to push yourself through a book if you know you're going to give it that lower rating. For me, I'd rather not force myself through a book that I'm really not enjoying that much. Saying that, I did with Den of Vipers, but it's a whole other story on that one, isn't it, really? Yeah, I'm really happy with how that looks. I do feel though that on occasion I have given out a few more 5 stars than was warranted. Is that a way of saying it? I think that I might have been overly generous with my 5 stars. but you know, it is what it is. We'll see what this year turns out to be like. Maybe I just really know my own reading taste. But I have found so many amazing authors this year. There's Leigh Bardugo, Sarah J Maas, Sebastian de Castell, Robin Hobb, Victoria Schwab. They're authors that specifically stick out in my brain. Shelby Mahurin, I've only read one of her books, but Serpent and Dove was one of the top. It wasn't in my top books of the year, but it's one of the books that when I think about it, like my last year of reading, I'm like, wow, that was such a great book. Obviously, Frost Heart series by Jamie Littler, amazing. Alex Bell and the Polar Bear Explorers Club series, amazing. Nevermore, Jessica Townsend, I've read the first 2 books of that series, amazing. Fortuna Sword, KJ Sutton, recommend, highly recommend. So there's so many authors I've come across last year that I can't wait for them to come out with more books. But yeah, anyway, carry on. So age category wise, YA is still quite high up there with 48.3%, but in that as well was 30.6% was adult. It says there was 1.7% new adult. I can't remember what I marked as new adult, but 19.4% middle grade. I'm happy with that balance. I would like to get more adult fantasies in there next year, or adult books in there next year. I think that will happen because I do have quite a few series that I want to get around to, and a lot of the books that I'm interested in that are coming out next year are adult. And I do want to try out some more adult contemporary from Sarah Morgan next year as well. So, this year even. So, when it comes to LGBTQ plus rep, this isn't something that I tracked last year. I think that is something that I want to track more this year. G just came out with her new Copal spreadsheet where you can track the type of rep and specifically where that rep is in the book, if that makes sense, what kind of rep it is in the book. So I am going to track more this year the diversity side of things, because I don't know, across the authors that I've read, I honestly didn't track how diversely I read. If I like the look of the book and the sound of the book, I've just gone for that book. I've not really previously paid attention to whether it is an author of colour or someone part of the LGBTQ plus community. So this year, when it comes to the stats at the end of 2022, I'm going to be able to give you my stats on how diversely I've read with regards to LGBTQ plus disability mental health rep and POC authors. I don't actively seek out translated fiction either. Again, something that I could potentially keep a lookout for. And now that I'm focusing more on the quality of the books that I read rather than the quantity, it will give me more scope to actually search for those kinds of books. I am hoping to read more adult books this year, so we'll see if that reflects on my stats at the end of the year. Like I said, I am tracking the rep, and hopefully you'll see that I, fingers crossed, will be reading quite diversely over the next 12 months. And for me, really, it'll be nice for me to see how diversely I read and what's on my shelves. I am going to try and pick more of what's on my shelves. I do know that I do have books on my shelves that are from POC authors that do have LGBTQ plus mental health repping. I just haven't pulled those books off my shelf to read. Again, I could look at actively trying to pick up those books and see where we go from there. Anyway, that's me done. I am going to go now, and I will see you all in my next video.